everybody, and welcome to Parks Bros. It's Drew here. That's right, you see it, another Batman clone. I made the decision to head out to Fiesta Texas just for a handful of hours and see how they're handling everything. Now, I will say, first of all, this is by far the busiest I've ever seen this parking lot. And that's even for like a time like this. This is crazy. It is a Sunday, so I was hoping for less crowds. But holy cow, I've never seen the park this packed, and I've been here 4 or 5 times now. I'm a little worried, but if anything makes me feel uncomfortable at any time, I'm gonna head out. So I don't have to worry too much about that. But we'll see if I can get on anything, because I know lines are gonna be crazy already. So let's get in. Well, the entrance process was pretty quick and painless, thankfully, which is great. And it's nice to be back in a Six Flags park. It has been since February, I think. Oh, it's been too long. Well, let's head back to some of my favorites, but I gotta say, so far walking through, way more people wearing masks than SeaWorld. Yes, there are a couple bad apples, but that's always gonna happen, right? But I will say this. At the front entrance plaza, it was ridiculously crowded. Now, the crowd's just kind of disappeared. So we'll see what happens. I know they do have some haunt stuff going on tonight. I might miss out on some of that, but it's nice to see all of this theming again for the first time in a year. Weird to see a boomerang running after 7 months. Well, heck, actually the last boomerang I saw was a year ago, and it was this one. It was broken too. Cool to see it running, I guess. Probably won't hit it today though. Although I did just look over at the line. It was almost empty, so maybe I will hit it up. I still have not ridden that after my 5 times being there, so why not, you know? But I'm gonna go check out Iron Rattler first and then head over to Wonder Woman if Iron Rattler's no-go. So we'll see. But those are really the only 2 things I want to get on besides Poltergeist. But beside that, just walking around. Definitely more and more bad apples the further we get into the park, I can tell you that. Alright, I'm gonna say no Iron Rattler right now. The line is quite lengthy and they are on one train. So I'm gonna head to Wonder Woman, see how bad that is. So they've really decided to go all out on the steampunk theming for Daredevil Dive, which is going to open next year, even though it's completely done, as you can see, and I love this theming. This theming is awesome. Like, some of the best I've seen at a Six Flags park. Also, that view of Iron Rattler is incredible. Gosh, I have to get on it today. Hopefully the line dies down a little later on, but they've even themed it up to be steam pumpkins, which is kind of cool. I love all the pumpkins that are steampunk themed. Behind me there. Now, I have heard that Iron Rattler doesn't slow down at the top of the lift hill anymore. I want to see if that's true. Well, yep, sure is. Holy cow. Alright, I gotta get on it today, for sure. I can't wait to see all of this running around next year. It'll be really cool. Here's some more theming. Also, another sanitizer. I gotta say, there are sanitizers everywhere at this park, and I love that. But over by Gully Washer, like, no one was wearing their masks at all, even though they're not in line. So yeah, it's starting to get pretty bad at the back of the park mask-wise, but I'm loving that these are everywhere at least. Heading to Wonder Woman. While I'm probably not gonna check out Superman after seeing its line being past the entrance, I do love that they added a statue this year of him. That's cool, at least, you know. It's just a nice addition. On my way to Wonder Woman, I also spotted a statue of Batman. Another cool addition. Not too close to the ride itself, which is kind of funny, but it's still there, so that's cool. In the middle of Rockville, though, which is a little weird. I also wanted to mention Superman is running on 2 trains, so that's nice. But the line is still pretty long, so I'm just gonna check out Wonder Woman. If Wonder Woman's got a bad line, I'm gonna head over to Poltergeist. If Poltergeist has a bad line, I'll just probably circle back around to Iron Rattler or something. I mean, I'm just here to check out all of the procedures right now and all of the decorations, because it's so cool to see Halloween decorations like this. But yeah, if I don't ride anything today, I won't be heartbroken. I've been to this park enough, you know. It would just be a nice bonus to being here. Ah, yes. My favorite model of all time. The Raptor, the Rmc Raptor. Super excited to potentially get back on this. This line is not that bad, in all honesty. But then again, I do got to think about it. They're only running with probably 4 or 5 people a train. but the line isn't filling up that queue space. Well, maybe it is now with how many people just got in line. But you know what? If I have to wait for anything today, it's probably gonna be this ride. So let's get on. I remember being here opening day by accident, and it was so much fun. But the line definitely did get a heck of a lot longer. While I'm waiting in this lengthy line, I can't help but notice. It seems like they were mowing the lawn this morning. So it really sucks. But the amount of people wearing masks is about dead set in the center as people on the opposite end of the spectrum. It really sucks. Also, distancing does not exist. It's really just me and the people behind me that are distancing in the entirety of the line. Yeah, I wish it was another way around though. Man, oh man, got row 2 on Wonder Woman. That's the farthest up I've ever been on one of these Raptors. And I gotta say, really enjoyable experience up front, especially on the Raven turn right here. That pop of airtime is insane. Of course, the off-axis airtime hill, another insane element as usual. Now, I will say I prefer the back row, obviously, but second row is still insane with its intensity, and I love this ride, but I have some negatives. We'll get to those a little later. So yeah, as I was saying, Wonder Woman was incredible, even in second row, but what wasn't incredible was the amount of people just taking out their masks and not carrying in line. Also, although there is tons of sanitizer out on the midway, there is no sanitizer whatsoever in that queue line at all. Really bizarre to me considering how long that queue line is, but there's no sanitizer at all. And even when you get out off the ride, there was no sanitizer there. You had to go past the gift shop to get to some sanitizer, which is a little startling to me personally, especially since so many people are touching those things. And while I was there for 45 minutes, I did not encounter a cleaning cycle. So, I don't know. A little worried, to say the least. And as much as I love riding Raptors, and that made it worth it to come out today, I don't know if I'd totally recommend coming out to Fiesta Texas, at least at this point in time. Poltergeist is running. I just saw a train go by, so that's nice. I'm gonna check the line on that, see if I can ride it. But maybe 2 ridiculously intense coasters in a row is not the best idea, because I haven't hydrated in a while, and I probably should, because it is 90 degrees. I don't see anybody out here. I don't think anyone realizes that this is a ride. So I think I'll be able to get on Poltergeist no problem, even if they're running one train. Always thought this station was incredibly interesting. I mean, it's really well themed, but you can definitely tell it's aging, and that's just not the theming. That was a cool 3 minutes waiting. Now I'm getting into the front. I think it's really cool though, they do have protective shields in the station. So they've actually added to the theming over here. They actually changed it. It doesn't go along with the rest of Rockville, I suppose, this year, which is kind of interesting. But Poltergeist, man, in front row, that was awesome. I don't know if it's better than back necessarily, but front row was a heck of a lot of fun. The launch was super smooth. The rest of the layout, a little bit shaky, but that's okay in the second half. But the first half, one of the best first halves to any coaster out there. Glad I got on this. I might be heading out now. I think I'm gonna check Iron Rattler's line, but I don't think I'm gonna ride it today, which breaks my heart because it's my favorite coaster here. But I don't really feel comfortable waiting in that line, to be completely honest with you. It is a little worrisome. Spassberg is looking quite empty in comparison to other parts of the park. I guess no one's really wanting to get over here, at least right now. Yet again, not gonna get on this awesome looking log flume. Every time I come, it's closed. It's probably just because it's October, but still, I would love to get on this eventually. Now, while my next visit might not be within a year, hopefully it'll be within the next 2 or 3, because I love this park. I really do. I just wish the pandemic wasn't making things so sour for me right now. Well, it seems like Boomerang has no wait at all, almost. So on the way back from Iron Rattler, maybe, I don't know. Do I really want to ride it? No, not really. But if there's no wait, when you can see the line from here, it's not a good sign, especially with one train operations on Iron Rattler today. I think I'm gonna have to skip out on Iron Rattler for the first time ever at a visit to this park, which sucks because this is one of my favorite coasters in the world. But yeah, I don't know if I want to wait in that right now, especially with how little distancing is going on, and also there being one train. I'm gonna be in that line for probably over an hour and maybe even up to an hour and a half. So I don't think I'm gonna be riding Iron Rattler today, sadly. Yeah, I don't know what is going on, but me coming to Fiesta Texas and riding Boomerang but not Iron Rattler, we definitely are in a parallel universe. Well, all of the fog has started up because they've got some Halloween stuff going on starting right now. Wow, that was loud. But Boomerang, coast to coaster, not too bad. The second best Boomerang I've been on. Second worst too, I guess. Much better than the one at Discovery Kingdom, I can tell you that right now. Still very painful on this Cobra roll. But what can you do? At least I got a new credit today, even though no Iron Rattler, which is really the biggest bummer in the world. But like, I just don't feel comfortable with waiting in that line, especially with how it's being handled right now. Front entrance now. Yeah, definitely people heading home on their Sunday nights. But I need to head out, shower, and then get some food. I'm starving. I know I could probably stay around here for food, but I don't know if I feel comfortable with that necessarily. I think I'm gonna just stick back to the hotel. But yeah, Six Flags Fiesta Texas just for an hour and a half, almost 2 hours today. I'll tell you some more thoughts in just a second. Alrighty, we made it back to this dreaded spot, Goliath. But now we're outside of the park because we've officially left, and I did not ride Iron Rattler. Really is a parallel universe. Now, I want to talk a little bit about my experience. Now, not every ride was sitting every other row. Like Boomerang, Poltergeist, you could sit in every single row, which I don't know how I feel about that personally, but they at least had the shield dividers in between rows before sitting down, of course. But this park was just as bad, if not worse, with people not caring as SeaWorld, which really, really sucks. And it makes me really worried, to be completely honest with you. And I can't tell you how eager I am to go home, or back to the hotel rather, and take a long hot shower just to make sure I'm all clean. But even a lot of employees were taking off their masks and talking to people directly, like within 2 feet of each other. I saw that over at Wonder Woman. I felt really bad for JD, who was working today, because the rest of his crew was just not in it. You can tell it's been a very long weekend for them. And I mean, even Wonder Woman was, I think, the biggest offender for guests today, because there was even some guests that hopped over the track. Like, really? Anyway, I'm gonna get into the car now and talk and give my final thoughts on everything today. So anyway, all in all, I don't think I can necessarily recommend going to either of these parks, at least after my experiences at both of them. Oh, and it's not to do with anything that the park is doing necessarily. I mean, I think there are definitely some things that the parks could work on a little more, but it's all about guests. The guests are what make or break the experience, especially during a time like this, and especially when there's so many extra rules that they have to follow. Well, problem is, none of them ever follow those rules, at least that I've experienced out in Texas, and it really, really does suck, because I would have loved to spend an entire day here and have an awesome amount of rides on Iron Rattler and Wonder Woman and Poltergeist and whatever else I want to experience. But with how it was today, really, really tough to do that. The entire time I was in line for Wonder Woman, I was just trying to keep my distance from people. I was looking at people wearing Louis Vuitton masks that weren't even wearing it. They were wearing it around their neck. And it's like, just because you have a Louis Vuitton mask does not mean you have the right to not wear it while you're in a park. It's just food for thought on that one. But it was something I experienced everywhere in the park, even from a lot of employees I saw taking off their masks, even when they weren't drinking or eating. It was when they were talking directly to guests at times, which is really kind of frightening, to be honest. Almost as frightening as their Halloween decorations. But I loved getting on Poltergeist. I loved getting on Wonder Woman. And of course, Boomerang wasn't actually that bad. I was quite surprised by it. But I still did not have the most amazing experience because of a lot of guests just not following rules. So I think that's the biggest takeaway from visiting these places out here in Texas so far. And it's not that the parks are doing a bad job. It's just that the guests don't listen.
Thank you all so much for watching, though. I know I've been rambling a lot and talking down on my experiences. I just want to give you guys the honest truth to what I'm experiencing at these parks, because honestly, I want to be able to go to a park again and have no problem and just be able to do it every other day and just have fun. But right now, I don't know if it's necessarily possible with how many guests are just straight up not following the rules. But thank you all so much again for watching. It's been quite the couple park visits. But until next time, we'll see you on the next ride.